News releases, these are things, gosh, you know, maybe someone got promoted in your company. Maybe you formed a new collaboration or partnership with another big organization, or you received a bid to build, you know, a brand new sports complex, or, you know, your company had a brat fry and raised money for, you know, the pet shelter or whatever. You know, anything that's newsworthy or exciting, you know, shout it out there. This is the time to brag and toot your own horn. We love to show off the good work that our businesses are doing, that are our members. Or it could be like an event too, like this is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's virtual this year. You walk on your own. They have it as a news release because it's different this year. Where, you know, they're not all going to meet together and walk together. They're having people walk on their own and do it that way. So it's kind of a press release to say, hey, we've pivoted our walk, you know, because of the pandemic, and here's how to do it. They also could list it as an event, and actually it is listed as an event. You'll see that in a minute, because it's also an event. So sometimes things fall into more than one category. Here's one that they're looking for people to be with their Lunch with a Leader program. UW Stevens Point has a Lunch with a Leader program. On a side note, that is a wonderful program, and if you'd like to be in Lunch with a Leader and learn more about it, click right here and learn more about it. It's a great program. Several of us here on staff have been involved in it and really enjoy it. But if we go back to our news releases, this is another thing that the whole public can see. So, you know, the things we've talked about today, the hot deals, the job postings, these news releases, when we get to events in a minute, those are all for the public. The only thing that's private is that member-to-member discount, okay? So, how do news releases look on our website? Well, if we're on the home page of our website, the news releases are a little bit harder to find. We don't have a tab right on the top, but it's under, if you hover over Chamber, which a lot of people know us as the Chamber, so it is a pretty popular tab, you'll see news is right over here. It's also good to know whenever you submit a news release, you know, you'll see in a minute when I get there, you're going to have to press that submit for approval at the bottom again. And when you do that, again, we look at them. Sometimes if we like the news release or we find out like, oh, wow, that's really cool, I didn't know that type of thing, we'll also share it on our blog, and sometimes we share it on our Facebook if we have room on our social media calendar. So it's always a good idea to send those news releases because we can share them in more places than just this. But this is what they look like. They look like, you know, you have a picture or a logo or whatever, and then a little bit of a title, and when people click on it, then they can read the news release. So again, just another free way to shout out and get your name out there. And if you want to add one, again, the very same steps we're going to take. We're going to find our blue button, add the news release. You'll want to fill in the title because that's the title just defaults to say news release and the date, which would be a pretty boring title. Again, fill in your information, categories. So what does this news release kind of touch on? Is it an education issue, a human interest? Is it simply a press release? Is it a community article? Is it just some fun facts? Are you publishing some papers or research? Is this about our economic climate? Is it a general news article? Is it a political thing? You can check, it may be more than one of these. You can check as many as you want. Typically, Chamber is only news releases that we put out. Most businesses aren't going to be putting out an article about the Chamber. So that's probably the only one you wouldn't use. But you pick the one that, you know, that it suits about what your article is about, and check that. Add your image, contact information, and again, that submit for approval. So those are news releases.